Welcome to Craft of Architecture, where creativity takes center stage. A team of dedicated designers who prioritize the artistry of their craft. With expertise, collaboration, and a passion for bringing ideas to life, COA are strategic partners who can turn your visions into tangible masterpieces. Welcome to the Cape Town branch.
The Craft of Architecture we established in 2007 with my partners Jonathan Vague and Ian Gray. Our background at the time was working together for a lot of projects in the Middle East in a very concept design intensive environment, also a lot of master planning. We started with three guys, and we quickly grew the company to 9, 12, and now we 40 plus employees. We've got 5 teams working across 2 practices, Cape Town and Durban. Our portfolio is very diverse in work. For example, we're working on 5-star lodges on remote islands in Mozambique, and at the same time we're working on a pedestrian bridge at the waterfront, at the V&A waterfront, and also at a 90,000 square meter mixed-use development like Umhlanga Arch. And all of these projects will be happening in our studio all at the same time. So there's a huge mix of type of work that's happening and a different way of thinking and creativity all the time in the studio. One of the more iconic projects that everyone kind of knows and has put us on the map is being Umhlanga Arch. It's a mixed-use project. It's approximately 90,000 square meter development. It's comprised of a dealership, offices, residences, hotel, and a big retail piazza. It's an extremely complex building.
Okay, so talking about how Mobius and Interiors works with Archicad and what we're going to develop, we found that our clients, that whole traditional way of presenting with 2D and doing beautiful hand-drawn, or not hand-drawn, but actually very detailed elevations, which are two-dimensional. It doesn't matter how many materials and textures that we include, the clients can't read the 2D drawings. So this has become more and more of a problem, but we don't often have the time or the skill set in terms of having proper 3D renderers in the office and developing every single concept in 3-dimensional. It's just too time consuming, and the clients aren't actually willing to pay for the time it would take to do that. So what we found is that if we what we experimented with is working, because we're working inside the architect's models as well a lot of the time, so we don't want to be affecting their structural setting out and their brickwork and moving any first fix points by mistake. But at the same time, we have to develop these ideas and present ideas, almost like modeling and SketchUp modeling, but within a very finite, rigid technical model. So working with some great skills in the office, we developed this idea where you can actually build concepts within the model that you can toggle on and off, and we can almost frame them like little studio models, and we actually hunt and search, so we're developing our physical models and material models at the same time we're developing the concept. So we actually either photograph the materials or we source very good textures, and we're applying these textures to the models, and so very quickly from concept stage we can start showing our clients what the kitchen feels like, or what the bathroom feels like, and what the texture of the marble feels like, or the movement in the wall. And it's speeding up our development process, because we found before we would have these 2D concepts and we were so clear that the client understood where we worked, but by the time they'd moved on to stage 3 or stage 4 and they start seeing it in a 3D form, they suddenly realized that they hadn't actually grasped what they had approved. So we're constantly looking at ways to be more efficient.
So with the arch, we we took a lot of time strategizing how we use our hot links. Because it's a multi-residential / commercial building, we had to find a way to stack different components on top of each other for the arch. We had a podium, we had an office block, we had a residential sort of tower, and we had a hotel. So all of these were being worked on separately by different staff members, and we had to bring them into the master to make sure that everything sort of works in context with each other. How we did that on Salter was a bit different, because now we're working with a full-on master plan urban site. We've got about 400 plots for housing, freehold housing. We have a commercial section for our retail. We have clubhouses, we have gatehouses. So all of this on a massive estate, we also had to use hot links. So what we did was we created hot link types where we had different types of houses. We were able to bring them in, place them on the specific sites. We even had houses that were a bit more custom because of the clients, so those became separate files and hot links. Our retail was being worked on by a separate team, so they worked on their own file independently, but we could still hot link them into the master to make sure that the context fits together. So all of these things that we've learned are various ways to sort of make it useful for how we put it together has definitely smoothed the process. And the site itself, what we learned from Arch was that the information that we get from the consultants is as accurate as it can be. So why would we need to recreate that information?
Now it's time to meet the Durban branch.
The benefit is definitely in a presentation format, being able to visualize a 3D space and be able to take a model into a meeting to present that to a client, so that there's a much better understanding of the spatial quality, the scale of a project before it hits the ground. 2D drawings don't necessarily give you that sense, whereas a 3D model often accentuates it and allows people that are not necessarily spatially inclined to be able to picture and to be able to visualize the space. From a BIM perspective, I do think that being able to clash detect and to be able to overlay models cross-platform, whether it's an IFC or whether it's Archicad over Archicad, and bring in hot links, you are able to alleviate certain pitfalls before you get to site. These things are quite important. It does allow us to identify risk before we get on site, and to not have to go backwards and forwards between contractors and to have to manage errors on site. We are able to pick them up before we get there. Yeah, so I think our ability to communicate via Durban to Cape Town seamlessly through a teamwork platform that Archicad supplies us with is very beneficial due to the fact that we're able to efficiently resource projects and to be able to deliver them on time. It becomes critical for us to be able to resource at the right time and to be able to get work out and meet deadlines.
The project started in the Cape Town office, and the concept was designed and developed there, and then only came to the Durban office around the council submission stage. And then we developed that and the tender and construction drawings, but the time frame was very tight. It was from construction on site, it was about 11 months until opening. So in that period we had to document, get the tenders ready, document the construction information and coordinate the structure, the services. So there's a lot to fit in a short space of time, and without using Archicad I think we would have struggled. So the Salter estate is part of a bigger Node 6 development, and the Marine Walk Shopping Centre is part of that with our new offices. And then as part of the whole estate, to unlock the estate, there will be the gatehouse, and there will be the
estate facilities including the clubhouse, sports facilities for all three portions, including the freehold sites at Mount Cotton, the Capri Village and Salter itself. There will be connecting green spaces with activation nodes for activities such as trail running.
Some gym facilities. It's looking at the broader plan, the master plan, and coordination of the sites. I think we could say we utilize the software Archicad along with the different information we were getting from the different consultants through IFC means. But one thing we could say is that having a good template actually allowed us to achieve all of this.
So, are you interested in the Graphisoft suite of products? Or maybe you would like to find out specifics as to how these products could be of benefit to your business? Well, then contact us at the TotalCAD Solution Center, the authorized distributor for Graphisoft products in Southern Africa.